In this video, I'll show you how to use MyAccountingLab. To do so, we have to first go to myaccountinglab.com and sign in. And then we click on our course. So to work on the assignments, we click on the Assignments link. And then we have two choices, do homework or take a quiz or test. I'm going to click on do homework. First, you'll notice that the left column shows the due date. It's your responsibility to complete the homework by the due date. Don't wait until the last minute because you could lose your internet connection or your power, or myaccountinglab.com could go down for repair. All these events would cause your assignments to be late, so don't procrastinate. Plan ahead and get your assignments done early. Then up here, notice we have some ability to filter our results. We could view all assignments, just the homework, or the quizzes and tests. In my case, the quizzes are practice tests. You can also filter the results so you only see the assignments for a particular chapter. I almost always use this. So let's just look at chapter 11's homework. So as you can see, chapter 11 has only 4 homework assignments and they are all exercises. If you wanted to see your assignments score, you could look over here. Of course, I've not done any of these, so there is no score. Also, if you want to see your overall score, I'm going to go back to the main menu and click on results. And results, here's my overall score. Again, I've got a 0 because I've not done any of the homework yet. So this is where you would see your grade. Anytime you submit an assignment, your grade is instantly updated. So you always know your grade just by going here. All the components of your grade are in MyAccountingLab. So you don't need to look anywhere else like Canvas or anything to see your grade. It's all in here. So I'm going to go back to do the homework. So let's see what it's like to do some homework. The first thing you need to know is that I allow you to try the homework an unlimited number of times up until the deadline for that assignment. The highest score of all your attempts is recorded. I want you to practice the homework a lot. The more you do it, the more confident you get with the material. Most students try the homework problems until they get 100% or close to 100%. So I'm going to click on this first assignment. So notice there are 2 assignments. Here's one and here's another one. They're both for E1114. The first is called book/static. The book means it's the exact same problem in your book at the end of the chapter with the same numbers in the problem. Static means the numbers don't change. So that means you could try this assignment on MyAccountingLab 10 times, and each time the numbers in the assignment are the same. That's because it's a static problem. So this book/static problem is what I demonstrate in my videos. So most students will play the video in a separate browser window from the browser window that has MyAccountingLab. So you have 2 browser windows open, one with a video, one with MyAccountingLab. That way you can pause the video and work along with me as I demonstrate the homework in the video. I demonstrate probably about 99% of the homework. Notice the other assignment has the same number. The E means it's an exercise. The 11 means it's from chapter 11, and 14 means it's number 14 at the back of the chapter. Of course, you do not need to be looking in your book to do the homework. You only need to have MyAccountingLab. So notice this second assignment is the same problem number as this one over here, but it says it's similar to. All this means is that each time you try this assignment, MyAccountingLab generates random numbers for the problem. So basically, it's the same assignment as the book static, but with random numbers each time you try it. Also notice that the static problem that I demonstrate in the video, this one here, is worth 1 point. The 0 in front means I've scored 0 points on this assignment so far because I haven't tried it. Now notice the similar to assignment is worth 2 points. The similar to problem is worth more points because you have to do it on your own. So again, remember, I will demonstrate this homework, the book static, I will demonstrate in the video. I suggest you work along with me, pause the video if you need to, as you do the problem. And then don't forget to come over here and do the similar to problem on your own. Now let's see what it looks like to try an assignment. You've not studied any of this yet, so I don't expect you to understand the problem at this point. I just want you to get used to the MyAccountingLab interface. Notice at the top, right here, it says that this is assignment 1 of 2 and 0 are complete. If I click here, it goes back to that previous window that we saw before, and you can access either assignment. We were in this one. I could just click here if I wanted to go to the next one. I could also use this right arrow to go to the next question. And if this was active, if there was a previous question, I could use the left arrow. Of course, you should always read all of this data before attempting a problem. Now, some problems will have a little box up here, a little icon that you need to click to see more information. I want to demonstrate that to you, and this problem doesn't have that. So let me go to a different problem. I'm going to leave this problem, which is okay to do. And I'm going to say, okay, so I can go back and look at the other homework. I want to show all the homework. And I know problem 1435 has this little feature I want to show you. So notice it says, click the icon. They're talking about this icon to view the accounting record. So if I click this box, a window, it's called a data table, will open and I can position it wherever I want. So in this particular problem, we would need this additional data to work the problem. And if that window got closed, you want to open it back up again, you just go back and click on that. Now notice I could print this out if I wanted to take notes on this, or if I wanted to check these off as I use them in the problem. So I just wanted to show you what these little icons here mean. Okay, let's go back to chapter 11, the first exercise. It's about sales tax, but we don't care about the content right now. So after having read all this data above, let's just pretend we did. Let's attempt this problem and see what happens when we get something wrong. Now, you probably don't understand what all this stuff is, but that's fine. Let's just put in some random numbers here and see what happens. So I did my best guess, and it's a crappy job. So I'm going to go down here and click on check answer because I think I'm right. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to not like this box because it means you've got something wrong. So what most students do is they hate this box so much that they quickly close this to get it out of their face. But you should always read this to see if MyAccountingLab will give you a good hint about what you got wrong. It usually gives you a good hint. Sometimes it does not, but always read it. So here it says one of my accounts, these are accounts over here, is wrong. Okay. So let's say I go to something else. Oops. I remember how I said, oops, I got it wrong again. That must not be it. Remember how I said that we have unlimited number of attempts at a homework problem? That's true, but each time we attempt the problem, for each little section, you only have 3 tries. So we can eventually start the problem over again and therefore we do get unlimited attempts. So what has happened here is, see these little arrows? These little arrows means I've got this part wrong. So if I wanted to see what I put in there, by the way, what MyAccountingLab does is it put in the correct answer for me. So if I click here on this, it tells me that I answered something called sales revenue, but the real answer, the correct answer, is cash. And over here, I entered 12, but the answer is really 178,500. So MyAccountingLab shows you what the correct answer is. So you're not going to sit here with forever stuck in a problem. You get 3 tries at each section, and it will eventually tell you what the right answer is. Okay, now let's say we didn't understand any of this stuff. So what we can do is we can go up to question help. And notice we've got some options up here. There's demonstration documents. There's video. Some problems have videos. We could go to the eText pages that contains information about this problem. So this is our textbook. And we could use the calculator. But I want to show you this help me solve this. So what this help me solve this feature does is it gives you the same problem, but it changes these numbers. So it's using random numbers, and it's going to step you through it. Now, if I wanted to skip ahead, I could do that to go to a different section. So this is a really good tool to help if you can't figure out the solution to a homework problem. So read through this, and it will step you through the steps, and it will show you, usually will show you all the calculations. Okay. So another thing I want to show you up here is the calculator. Notice here's the calculator. So now you don't have to use this calculator. You can use a handheld calculator if you want. But let's say I'm working down here. I want to put a number in here, but I need to do a calculation. Let's say the calculation is 598 divided by 3 gives me this number. Now, I could just type this number in there, or I could click on this cell where I want the number to go to, and see this little arrow? It will shoot the number over there. Okay, so that's one way to, that's a handy feature to prevent you from accidentally mistyping something. All right. And so let me try some more random things in here. And notice it tells me one or more of my accounts is wrong, etc. So I'm going to try again. And now notice I forgot to fill this in. So let's see what MyAccountingLab tells us. It says the explanation you have chosen for the journal entry is incorrect. So you will learn that the explanation goes down here. Recall the transaction you're recording and select the appropriate explanation from the list. So this is my final check of the 3 checks. So I'm going to check that. Well done. So I'm done with this problem. Now I could go to the next question. And now notice I am now on question 2 of 2. So this is the one I did before, and my score is 0.42 out of 1. So that's 42%. And the combined score of these 2 problems, remember I've got 0.42 out of 2 plus 1. So I've got 0.42 out of 3 so far. So that right here shows me the overall score. So it looks like I've only got 13.89%, but that's mostly because I've not tried the second problem. So notice the second problem is the same as the first one, but the numbers are different. So let's just look at those numbers really quick. Go to the book static. So notice this one said 170,000 with a 5% sales tax. I'm going to go back to the other problem. It's 250,000 with a 5%. So notice the numbers do change. So that's why you're going to get more points for this second one. 2 points possible instead of just 1, because you have to do this one on your own with random numbers. Now, sometimes the publisher doesn't explain a problem very well, like maybe they're missing some information or they need some clarification. So a homework problem will have like a little tip window, a little window that pops up here that says Instructor Tip. Now, if you close the window and you're wondering, oh, crap, I want to see that Instructor Tip. How do I see it again? You go to Question Help, and Instructor Tip would be here on the list. I'm going to leave this, go back to the list of problems. So I want to find a problem with the Instructor Tip so I can show you that. So this problem has an Instructor Tip. The little Instructor Tip window will pop up. So here's the Instructor Tip window. So if you close this window and you wanted to see it again, you would just go to Question Help and View Instructor Tip. So there's one more feature I want to show you, the eText. So to read your book online, you'd click on Pearson eText and then click on Complete Pearson eText. And then here is our eText. So let me go to a random page and show you some of the features. So if we wanted to advance a page or go backwards, you click on these arrows. Let me get to some text. So let's say we were reading a chapter and we wanted to make some highlights. You could use these. So I clicked here and I chose the pen color, and now I can highlight anything that I want. I will highlight something a little bit different, use a different color. So that's how you highlight. You can also take notes. To write a note, you want to click on the little thumbtack. And then you can save this. You can also format it with bold, italics, and underline. You can close that note. And then if you want to show the notes, you click on Show Note, which would show this icon. And then we double click it and we can see our note here. We could edit it. Okay, so that's how you can do notes in your book. In your eText, I should say. You can also make the font bigger. You can zoom out. You can also bookmark a page. Let me go to a different page and also bookmark that page. So now if we wanted to view our bookmarks, we go down here, and here are our 2 bookmarks we made. If I want to go to that page, just click here, and then it's taking me to my bookmark. If you got a big monitor, you can do the double page view or the single page view. And then you've got your glossary over here if you want to look up certain words, and you can also do a search. So this is a pretty cool feature that they have for you here in MyAccountingLab. So it's called the Pearson eText. Just remember though that this, when you buy MyAccountingLab, it's only good for 12 months. So once the 12 months are gone, you're going to lose access to this eText. So that's why I recommend, if you can afford a physical book, buy a physical book, because you're probably going to end up using it and referring to it on the real job. So that's it for how to use My Accounting Lab. I hope that gets you off on a good start. If you have any questions, you can always send me an email.